Across the world, over 1.5 billion people practice Islam, with Muslim-majority countries stretching from Morocco to Indonesia. But Islam, like many other religions, isn't a single uniform belief system. Over time, it has branched out, with different groups interpreting the Quran and historical events in their own ways. The two largest groups are Sunnis and Shias, with Sunnis making up about 85 to 90% of Muslims. But how did this split happen? To really understand the Sunni-Shia divide, we need to go back to the beginning, back to the life of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Ali's story is not just about one man. It's deeply connected to the very roots of Islamic history and belief. Ali was born in Mecca into the influential Hashimi clan, a branch of the Quraysh tribe. He was the cousin of Prophet Muhammad, and their bond was strong. Ali's father, Abu Talib, had taken care of Muhammad after he was orphaned. But their bond went beyond family ties. It was also deeply spiritual. Growing up in the same household as Muhammad, Ali was exposed to the teachings of Islam from a very young age. When Muhammad proclaimed his prophethood in 610 AD, Ali was one of the first to embrace Islam. At just 10 years old, Ali professed his belief in the oneness of God and Muhammad's message. This early acceptance set Ali apart from others, as he became the first male to accept Islam. His steadfast faith would go on to define much of his life. As Islam began to attract more followers, Muhammad and the early Muslims faced severe persecution from the polytheistic Meccans. Despite his young age, Ali played a crucial role during these difficult times. He was known for his bravery and his unwavering loyalty to the Prophet, often standing by Muhammad's side to protect him from those who wished him harm. In 622 AD, life in Mecca had become unbearable for the Muslims, leading them to migrate to Medina. This migration, known as the Hijrah, marks the beginning of the Islamic calendar and stands as a pivotal moment in Islamic history. However, Ali didn't immediately join the Prophet on this journey. Instead, he stayed behind to return the possessions that had been entrusted to Muhammad. This act of integrity and responsibility reflects Ali's deep commitment to justice and doing what was right. After completing his duties in Mecca, Ali undertook the dangerous journey to Medina, where he was reunited with the Prophet. His arrival in Medina solidified his role as one of Muhammad's closest and most trusted companions. In 623 AD, the bond between them grew even stronger when Ali married Muhammad's beloved daughter, Fatima Zahra. This marriage was not just a union of two individuals, but a symbolic merging of two pivotal figures in Islam, which would later hold great significance for the Muslim community. Ali played a crucial role in the early Muslim community, serving in multiple capacities. He was not just a warrior that was known for his bravery in battles, but also a scholar, respected for his deep knowledge and understanding of Islamic teachings. His contributions were especially notable in key battles like Badr, Uhud, and Khandaq, where his valor earned him the title Asad Allah, Lion of God. By 631, the Muslim community, known as the Ummah, had taken control of Mecca and much of the Arabian Peninsula. However, as the Prophet grew older, the question of who would succeed him became increasingly important. Who would lead the Muslim community after Muhammad's death? This issue would eventually lead to the division between Sunni and Shia Muslims. In 632, after completing his final pilgrimage, Muhammad delivered a sermon at a place called Ghadir Khumm. This event is of immense significance in Islamic history, particularly for Shia Muslims. During this sermon, Muhammad took Ali's hand and declared, "Anyone who has me as his Mawla has Ali as his Mawla." The word Mawla has multiple meanings, including leader, master, protector, but also friend. Shia Muslims interpret this moment as the Prophet designating Ali as his successor. To them, Mawla, in this context, clearly means leader or master, and they believe that Muhammad was appointing Ali as the spiritual and temporal leader of the Muslim community. For Shias, Ghadir Khumm is a pivotal event that confirms Ali's rightful place as the first Imam, the divinely appointed leader of the Ummah. On the other hand, Sunni Muslims have a different interpretation of this event. They view Muhammad's declaration as an affirmation of Ali's close relationship with the Prophet and his importance in the community, but not as an explicit designation of leadership. According to Sunni tradition, Mawla in this context is interpreted as friend or beloved, indicating the Prophet's love and respect for Ali, rather than appointing him as his successor. Another critical moment in the succession debate is the so-called the pen and paper episode, which occurred just days before Muhammad's death. According to the hadith, the Prophet, sensing that his time was near, asked for pen and paper to write a statement that would prevent the Ummah from going astray after his death. However, Umar, one of the Prophet's close companions, intervened, saying, "The Prophet is seriously ill, and we have Allah's book with us. That is sufficient for us." This led to a dispute among those present, and the Prophet, upset by the disagreement, dismissed everyone from the room without making the statement. Shia Muslims believe that Muhammad intended to designate Ali as his successor in this statement. They argue that the Prophet's request was a crucial moment to secure the leadership of the Ummah and prevent any division. The intervention by Umar is seen by Shias as an act that changed the course of Islamic history, preventing what they believe was the clear intention of the Prophet to appoint Ali as his successor. Sunni Muslims, however, argue that the Prophet left the matter of succession to the community to decide. They believe that the Quran and the Sunnah, the teachings and practices of Muhammad, are sufficient guidance for the Ummah, and that Muhammad did not need to designate a specific successor. This incident, therefore, is viewed by Sunnis as a misunderstanding or a moment of confusion, rather than a deliberate attempt to alter the course of leadership. After Muhammad's death in 632, the Muslim community was thrown into a state of uncertainty and grief. While Ali and the Prophet's family were busy with funeral arrangements, a meeting was held in Saqifa, a covered courtyard in Medina, to decide the new leader of the Ummah. This meeting, known as the Saqifa of Banu Sa'idah, was attended primarily by the Ansar, the Medinan Muslims, who had welcomed and supported Muhammad and his followers during the Hijrah. However, the Muhajirun, the Muslims who had migrated from Mecca, soon joined the meeting. When Abu Bakr and Umar arrived at Saqifa, the discussion quickly turned into a debate over who should succeed Muhammad. The Ansar initially proposed their leader, Sa'd ibn Ubadah, but the Muhajirun argued that the leader should be from the Quraysh, the tribe of the Prophet. In a dramatic turn of events, Abu Bakr suggested that the community should choose between Umar or Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah. However, Umar immediately pledged his allegiance to Abu Bakr, followed by the rest of the assembly. This moment marked the appointment of Abu Bakr as the first caliph or successor to Muhammad. For Sunni Muslims, this event is seen as a legitimate and necessary decision made in the best interest of the Muslim community. They believe that Abu Bakr's close relationship with the Prophet, his wisdom, and his dedication to Islam made him the most suitable candidate to lead the Ummah after Muhammad's death. Shia Muslims, however, view the events at Saqifa as a betrayal of Ali's rights. They argue that the meeting was conducted in haste and without the consultation of the Prophet's family or his closest companions, particularly Ali. Shias believe that Ali, being the Prophet's designated successor at Ghadir Khumm, should have been the first caliph, and the events at Saqifa are seen as the beginning of a usurpation of Ali's rightful position. Initially, Ali refused to accept the decision made at Saqifa, and several of the Prophet's close companions, including Zubair and Talha, also withheld their allegiance to Abu Bakr. According to Shia sources, there were tense and confrontational moments during this period. It is reported that Umar, seeking to secure Ali's allegiance, led a group to Ali's house. In the ensuing confrontation, violence erupted, and Fatima, Ali's wife and the Prophet's daughter, was injured, leading to the miscarriage of their unborn child. This incident, known as the door incident, is a significant point of grievance in Shia tradition. From the Sunni perspective, the events at Ali's house are seen differently. Sunni sources generally describe Umar's visit as an effort to preserve the unity of the Muslim community rather than to provoke conflict. The accounts often downplay or omit any significant physical confrontation or harm to Fatima, focusing instead on the idea that Umar's intent was to encourage Ali to join the broader consensus. Ali's eventual decision to pledge allegiance to Abu Bakr is viewed by Sunnis as a wise and responsible move, reflecting his commitment to maintaining the unity and stability of the Ummah during a time of uncertainty. Despite these tensions, Ali eventually recognized Abu Bakr's caliphate. Shia traditions argue that his acceptance was coerced and reluctant, driven by a desire to prevent further bloodshed and preserve the unity of the Muslim community. In contrast, Sunni traditions emphasize Ali's eventual acceptance as a sign of his commitment to the Ummah and his recognition of Abu Bakr's legitimacy. The subsequent caliphates of Umar and Uthman were also marked by Ali's continued involvement in the affairs of the state, though his relationship with the ruling caliphs was complex. Ali advised and supported them in many instances, but Shia Muslims believe that he did so out of a sense of duty to the Muslim community, rather than genuine support for their leadership. In Sunni traditions, Ali's actions are seen as further evidence of his dedication to the unity of the Ummah, even when he might have had personal reservations. In 656, after the assassination of the third caliph, Uthman, the Muslim community turned to Ali to lead them. Ali's ascension to the caliphate was met with mixed reactions. While many supported him, others, particularly Uthman's Umayyad relatives and the Prophet's widow, Aisha, demanded justice for Uthman's murderers. This demand for retribution quickly escalated into the First Muslim Civil War, known as the First Fitna. The Battle of the Camel in 656 was a direct result of these tensions. Ali's forces clashed with those led by Aisha, Talha, and Zubair, resulting in a decisive victory for Ali. However, this victory did not bring peace, as another powerful opponent, Muawiyah, the governor of Syria and a relative of Uthman, refused to recognize Ali's caliphate. The conflict between Ali and Muawiyah culminated in the Battle of Siffin in 657. The battle ended in a stalemate, leading to arbitration, which was a controversial decision that many of Ali's supporters viewed as a compromise of his rightful position. The arbitration ultimately ruled that both Ali and Muawiyah should step down, but Ali rejected this ruling, and the conflict continued. Ali's caliphate was plagued by dissent and division, ultimately leading to his assassination in 661 by a member of the Kharijites, a radical group that had broken away from Ali's followers. Ali's assassination in 661 marked the end of the Rashidun Caliphate, the era of the rightly guided caliphs. His son Hassan briefly became the leader of the Muslim community. To prevent further conflict and ensure peace, Hassan agreed to step down in favor of Muawiyah. They signed a treaty that included a crucial condition. Muawiyah would not appoint a successor, ensuring that the caliphate would not become hereditary. Hassan's decision was aimed at preserving unity and avoiding more bloodshed. After stepping down, Hassan retired from public life and eventually passed away in 670. Despite the treaty, Muawiyah later broke his promise. He appointed his son Yazid as his successor, turning the caliphate into a monarchy. This decision sparked widespread discontent, especially among those loyal to Hassan and Ali. Hussein, Hassan's brother and Ali's younger son, refused to accept Yazid's rule, leading to further unrest and division within the Muslim community. In 680, Hussein and a small group of his followers were surrounded by Yazid's forces in the plains of Karbala, in present-day Iraq. Despite being vastly outnumbered and facing certain death, Hussein refused to surrender, choosing instead to fight for what he believed was the rightful leadership of the Muslim community. The Battle of Karbala ended in tragedy, with Hussein and nearly all of his male relatives and companions being martyred. The women and children of his household were taken captive. This event is one of the most significant in Shia Islam, symbolizing the ultimate sacrifice for justice and truth in the face of tyranny. Hussein's martyrdom at Karbala became a defining moment for Shia Muslims, solidifying their identity and their belief in the righteousness of Ali's lineage, the Al-Bayt, the family of the Prophet. For Shia Muslims, the Battle of Karbala is not just a historical event, but a deeply spiritual and emotional experience that is commemorated annually during the month of Muharram, particularly on the day of Ashura. The tragedy of Karbala serves as a reminder of the ongoing struggle for justice and the need to stand against oppression. From the Sunni perspective, the Battle of Karbala is deeply mournful as well. Sunni Muslims share in the sorrow of the tragedy and recognize the immense suffering endured by Hussein and his followers. They also acknowledge that Yazid's actions were wrong and contributed to the suffering, while Sunnis emphasize the importance of maintaining unity and stability within the Muslim community. They do so with a deep respect for the pain felt by all involved. The Sunni perspective values the lessons learned from Karbala and strives to honor Hussein's memory while working towards a harmonious and united Muslim Ummah. The Sunni Shia split, rooted in a dispute over the rightful succession to Muhammad, continues to shape the Islamic world to this day. Over the centuries, both Sunni and Shia Islam have developed distinct religious practices, jurisprudence, and theological beliefs. The Sunni-Shia divide has also influenced political and social dynamics within the Muslim world, contributing to conflicts and alliances that resonate even in modern times. Despite these differences, it's important to recognize that Sunnis and Shias share the core beliefs of Islam: the belief in one God, the prophethood of Muhammad, the importance of the Quran, and the practices of prayer, fasting, charity, and pilgrimage. In our upcoming videos, we will delve deeper into these two major sects of Islam, exploring their unique beliefs, practices, and historical developments. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video to stay updated on our latest content and to join the conversation on this fascinating topic.